Okay, hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Boss Labs. My name is Chuy Gutierrez, and today we are in Premiere Pro. Today we're going to go over slow motion footage and doing a little bit of speed ramping, just a quick and easy kind of workflow / mini tutorial on how to do some of the things that I do constantly. If you look at some of my work, I'm constantly using slow motion because my 1DX shoots 4K at 60 frames a second. And I know a lot of cameras out there shoot 60 frames a second, whether it's in 1080p, 4K, or above. And sometimes we're like, all right, I'm going to shoot slow motion. But then when we get to editing, we're like, what do I do here, right? So today's going to be just workflow on how to get my footage to play back the way I want it to. And then how I use some of that slow motion sometimes in some of my edits with a little bit of speed ramping. I don't use this a lot. So let's get into it. Here in the program over here, I've imported a couple of files. What you have here on the screen right now is a project I worked on in like 2019 with my buddy David Geffen, and we were just doing some BTS footage. So I'm going to play a little bit of it for you here, just a little bit of the intro. Yeah, so we can see some slow motion footage. We see some of the speed ramping stuff here. So speed ramping is right when a clip is playing regular speed and then we either slow it down or the opposite. It's going slow and we ramp it up to go fast. So here we'll see it. We'll see a speed ramp here, right? If you missed it, it's really quick. Look at the hair, right? So we're going kind of normal speed and it slows down for 2 seconds, not even 2 seconds, like less than that. And we see kind of a nice slow motion hair whip. Boom, right? So the other one I have in here is towards the end, which is also with the hair. So we see some beautiful red hair here and then boom, which was the opposite, right? So we see slow motion. We go from regular speed to slow motion on this one. And then we go from slow motion to quick there, right? So two different ways to use the speed ramp. So let's talk about the footage, right? So when you import your footage into Premiere, it's gonna be whatever you recorded it as. In this case, it'll play back at 60 frames a second. So if we looked at some raw footage here from that shoot earlier that day, it's gonna play back just at 60 frames a second in your program, right? No slow motion, no smooth butter looking footage here. Just looks like my computer is even having a little bit of trouble right now with it, which is not good. But anyways, let's see. There it is, right? It's not slow motion. It's not fantastic. It looks cool. So what we're looking here is we're seeing that the clip is right here. It's playing back at 59.94 frames a second, and our clip is 28 seconds long. So what we're gonna do for it to play back in slow motion is we're gonna right click it in Premiere. We're gonna go to modify. We're gonna go to interpret footage. So from here, we're gonna pay attention to this first box. It's the most important one. It says use frame rate from file, which is 59.94, right? Essentially 60 frames a second. So what we're gonna tell it to do is we're gonna tell it to play back at 29.976 or 98. It'll probably correct it. I usually don't move this. I usually keep it at progressive or, square pixels. I've noticed it doesn't change too much. So we'll click on it. And then now, as you can see here, now this clip went from being 20 some odd seconds to 1 minute and 9 seconds, right? So if we click on it and we play back now, we're gonna see that our clip is now playing back in slow motion. All right, so let's get to some of the good stuff here. So around right there. Look at that. Beautiful 4K, 60 frames a second, slow motion footage, right? Butter. Fantastic. And this is such a cool frame rate to shoot at because it's, in my opinion, not too slow, not too fast, as far as just a nice kind of way to slow down a moment without it feeling like the clip is taking forever to get to where it needs to get to. So now the one thing I want to talk about is this clip right here that we use at the very end that I showed you earlier, right? This is it playing at 60 frames a second. I don't think we've slowed it down yet, right? So it just looks super smooth and it goes by super fast. So let's go ahead and make this slow motion as well. So we're gonna go to modify, we right click it, modify, interpret footage, assume this frame rate 23.976. Right now we have slow motion footage. Right, awesome. playing back nice and slow. So let's get to where we have our clip. So here it is, right? Somewhere around right here is where we use that final shot. There it is. Boom, right? And whoosh. Beautiful. So let's go ahead and get part of this clip. We'll do an eye for in, and then whoa. And we'll cut it right there, right? We don't need much more than that. So we're gonna bring this down here, and now we have the clip on our timeline. There it is in all its glory. Fantastic. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make our video here. So we're gonna change the size. So we can go here and click and make it larger like this. We can also adjust all of them. Whoa. Looks like I got rid of my clip. All right, we can also click Command plus or minus on our keyboard, right? So it just kind of helps us see the video clip on the timeline a little bit bigger. So we're gonna go ahead and let's zoom in so it fills the frame a little bit. We're gonna see this little FX button right here. We're gonna right click it. We're gonna go to time remapping and we're gonna go to speed, right? So currently it doesn't do anything to the actual clip. It's still just playing in slow motion. So if we look at the original cut, which is over here, which for some reason it looks weird. All right, there it is. All right, so it's playing back in slow motion and then it whips at the very end and it goes to black, right? It does a little whip. Boom. So we're gonna try to get close to that on this one here. So kind of starts there and then that's the whip, right? So we want the whip to go by quick. We're gonna speed ramp around this area here. So right where it whips around right there, we're gonna press P for the pen tool, or you can click on it right over here. And this is where we want, I guess to pick this frame, this is where we want our speed ramp to happen, right? So we're gonna go back to the arrow tool so we can click here, or selection tool I should say. I press V for shortcut. And then all we have to do is we can move this up or down. And as you can see on the screen, there's a percentage, right? That's how fast or slow we're speeding up the clip. So for this case, let's try about 300. I think that's what I used when I was testing this out earlier. So about 300. So now what we're gonna see is we're gonna see a very dramatic change in speed from this moment. So what we can do is we can ease it off a little bit. You see these little markers here. We can extend these out a little bit to kind of smooth over this a tiny bit. But other than that, I think we're in a good spot. So let's go ahead and play back this clip and see how it looks. Boom, that was a quick, you see there from there, and it ramps up. Quick. Right? Maybe let's extend this ramp just a little bit more. And then we could mess with this a little bit. Right there, just to kind of smooth it off a little. So let's see how this plays back. And cool. So at the very end, I guess, it's kind of weird. I don't know why it's doing that. Might want to cut it there. I don't think we saw too much of the face in the original. At the very end here, what was the last thing we saw? Tiny bit of face, right? So we're gonna get close to that. Let's keep it close to that. So maybe one more frame. Yeah, okay. So let's see. Still feels, that feels a little fast. A little too fast for me. So let's slow this one down a little bit. Let's go down to like, I don't know, 175 or so, 275 I should say, around 275. And I feel like that's where it should speed up, right? So let's move this a little closer over here. Let's move this way. Let's see. There we go. I like that better. And then I think I might bring it back up to 300 there at this point. So we're gonna go ahead and up this to around 300. Cool, there we are. And I like that. All right, so there we have it. There we have a quick little slow motion to speed ramp kind of effect. And what I'll do here is I will duplicate this on here. Let's see, this is our original clip. And let's go ahead and match up. So let's do something here. We're gonna resize it to 50. We can scooch this over, right? And then let's resize this to 50. Scooch this over. Whoa. Here. All right, so let's line these up. So where do we see just beginning of face? Somewhere around there. So that's where this clip ends. Press S for snap. All right, so we can end both clips here, and let's extend them a little bit. All right, let's see how this plays back. And boom, right? So we don't need all the stuff we're seeing here. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll copy it. Let's run it a few times so y'all can compare both sides. And, you know, I messed up there. I need to give you a little bit more on each clip. Because then you can't see jack shit. So, let's go ahead and do this again. Boom, boom, boom. And there we are. So you can compare the other clips, right? One of them keeps playing in slow motion while the other one speed ramps and keeps playing at the new speed. But you can see that flip, right? That's the key point we're looking for right there. Right here. Whoa, right there. That flip is insane. That's the beauty of shooting slow motion and speed ramping, right? It's just a quick little effect, but if you're editing with the music and you have a nice downbeat, then that whoosh adds a little bit of impact for your viewer, and it kind of just gives it that extra production value or that extra vibe that could help improve your edit, could help tell your story. It's a fantastic hair flip too. So yeah, I think that does it for us here today at Boss Labs. If you have any comments or questions, please leave that down in the comment section down below. And yeah, if you have some projects where you did some speed ramping, link us down below. I'd love to check out some of that work. So yeah, that'll do it for us here. We'll see you next week. And yeah, have fun. And yeah, subscribe, like, all that fun stuff. If I haven't said that already. Yeah, cool. We'll let it play one more time because why not? And there it is. All right, bye everybody.